Does student loan refinancing confuse you just a little bit? It confuses me too, so don't worry, that's what I'm here to help you with today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys don't know me, my name is Divyanka and I'm a doctor of pharmacy here in the US. On this channel, I strive to provide both you and I with resources to help live our best and most productive life. Alright, so before we get into exactly why student loan refinancing is helpful, let's talk about what refinancing actually is. Refinancing in general is just the act of taking your current debt obligations and replacing it with a new loan with new terms. Overall, the whole point is to have better and more favorable terms when you do make that switch. Basically, what happens in refinancing is that as a borrower, you would basically take out a new loan that is for the complete amount of all your student loans. And then that loan would then completely pay your past student loans and it would consolidate it all into one loan. Now, in general, again, you want those terms to change in a good way. And specifically, those terms include monthly payments, interest rates, and the length of your loan term. Now, all of these things, depending on which way it goes, can really help your overall financial stability, how you pay off your loan, how quickly you pay off your loan, and all of those details. It basically allows borrowers to redo their loan to, again, hopefully find better rates, better terms, and just something that works for you as a borrower better. So now that we kind of understand what refinancing means, let's go into why you would actually want to do this for student loans. The first and main reason is to get a more affordable loan overall. As we all know, student loans are not cheap and interest rates specifically are extremely high for student loans. So I would say that the main reason you would really want to refinance would be to bring that interest rate down. I would say an average student loan interest rate is 10 to 15%, and that is extremely high. So your goal would be to bring it down to about 4 to 5%. Now, for most of us who are in healthcare, the average healthcare student loan is about $200,000. So on $200,000, if you have a 10 to 15% interest rate, you can imagine that that's thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you can even get that down to 5 or 6%, that's really good and it lowers the amount of interest you have to pay. Now, we all know that interest is kind of a waste of money. We're just paying money the more our loan sits there. So the lower you can bring that, the better. Now, with having a more affordable student loan, other things matter as well. Interest rate is not the only factor that we should look at. The other factor that you can change when you're looking to refinance is the actual length of your student loan. So usually, you're paying it off in 10, 15, 20 years, and you choose that when you get your student loan at the beginning. When you refinance that, you can choose to do it in a quicker time period. You can kind of choose all those variables and just decide how much you want to pay per month and how long it's going to take you to pay it off. Of course, longer repayment times, so maybe 20, 25 years, would mean that you have less of a monthly payment, but it's going to take you longer to actually get rid of that loan. Versus if you were to have really high monthly payments, your term length would probably be way shorter. So again, just depending on where you are financially, what makes sense for you, you have all these options to make it work for you. And this is why refinancing is so beneficial. The next reason you would want to refinance your student loan is to streamline your payments. Now, speaking from personal experience, I was shopping around while I was getting my student loans for various interest rates. And so every year I had a loan from a different bank. So one thing that refinancing can do, like I mentioned, is consolidate all of them. So that's exactly what I did. I did refinance my student loans after I graduated, and all my different loans that were at different banks all got consolidated into one. This is really convenient because instead of paying monthly payments to 2, 3, 4 different banks, you only have one place where your loan is and you only have one monthly payment. It's a lot easier to track, and again, especially if your interest rate is lower, it just makes so much sense. The next reason you might want to refinance is because of the options it gives you in terms of a cosigner. Now, a lot of us, when we're in school, we need a cosigner for our student loans, which is usually a parent, just because of our age and lack of responsibility and lack of financial backing. But when you graduate and get a job and are looking to refinance, you most likely have the option of either having a cosigner or not having a cosigner. Now, this again can really be helpful in terms of that cosigner's debt. Once their name is on it, they own that debt too. So if that's something that they don't want or you don't want to give someone else, then that's a really nice option. And again, you don't have to be stuck to a cosigner. You can, of course, always have a cosigner, so that's not a problem. But again, it opens up the options. And my last reason you would want to refinance is because it will help your overall financial health. If you have loans in multiple different places, it's really easy to not only miss payments, but really not know what's going on. If you refinance and consolidate it all into one place, not only are your payments going to be better because you've chosen your own terms, not only is your interest rate going to be better because again, the whole goal is to make that lower, but it's easier to then make those payments. And when you don't miss payments, that really helps your credit score. Missed payments negatively impact a credit score, and you don't want that to happen. So make it easy on yourself, refinance your student loans, put it all in one place so you don't miss your payments, and that way it's not negatively impacting your credit score. As we all know, our credit score is incredibly important for our general financial health. So that's what I mean by when I say that this is really going to help your overall financial health. And as a plus side, if you're gonna go through this whole process, you're probably gonna learn a lot about money, loans, and student loans specifically. So again, that's probably gonna help your financial literacy in general and the health of your financial profile. Now, although there's a lot of benefits to refinancing a student loan, sometimes it might not be the best option. So I really want you guys to look into this in terms of your own profile. The first reason this might not be a great idea for you is if you don't have a great credit score. You're only going to get a lower interest rate if your credit score is good. And so if you don't have a great credit score, it might not lower it that much, or it might not lower it at all, and then it might not be worth it. So again, this is a very specific thing to your own financial profile. So I can't tell you exactly what to do, but definitely look into it. You can definitely get appraisals and see with your credit score, how much your interest rate would lower depending on your loan amount. And you can get that without, signing something. So definitely do that before deciding to refinance or not. And the second reason you might not want to refinance is if you're not eligible. Not everyone is eligible. There's many things that actually go into refinancing. So overall, I would just like to say that definitely assess your own financial situation and see if refinancing is actually right for you. Now, because we're talking about student loans, I want to be sure to mention one of FocusRx's trusted partners, Juno. Juno is actually a company that helps you with your student loans or any type of refinancing, and they basically use the power of group buying to get you and me the lowest interest rate possible for our student loans. Now, again, how they do this is by group buying. So they go to banks and let them know that, hey, I have a lot of people who are going to come through me. And because of that, they get the lowest interest rate possible. If you and I were to go shop on our own for student loans, which again, I have done, I guarantee you we won't find as low of an interest rate as Juno can provide us. Now, one thing I want to mention is Juno is actually completely free to use for you and I. All we do is go through them like a normal bank. It doesn't cost us anything to get a loan through them, again, at the best interest rate possible. So if you're anyway in the market for student loans and low interest rates, then you might as well go through Juno because again, you're kind of guaranteed getting a lower interest rate than you could on your own. Now, I would never talk about a brand here on FocusRx that I did not completely trust. Juno is actually founded by 2 Harvard graduate students, and they have helped thousands of students globally get the lowest interest rate possible on their student loans. And with refinancing, you can of course do it more than one time. So every time you need it, you can go through Juno. Juno also has an array of financial literacy resources on their website and on their Instagram. So even if you guys want to just check them out to learn about something, I think it's 100% well worth your time. I'm actually going to be using Juno myself. I'm due for a refinance on my loan soon, so I'm going to be going through them, and I'll of course take you guys through my process. And again, if I'm using them, then you probably should too. If you guys are interested at all in checking Juno out, their link is down in the description bar below for you to check out. Make sure it's the right decision for you, but if you are getting a student loan or refinancing loans anyway, I really think going through Juno is the best option. Other than that, I really hope this video was helpful for you guys. As always, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope this was helpful for those of you who are a little confused about refinancing in general. I think this is a topic that's very important and something that I didn't learn too long ago about. So I really want to share, again, as many resources as I can with you guys. If you have any any follow-up questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or email me. I do respond both ways. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it and subscribe if you haven't already. That is it for today's video, and you guys will of course see me in the next one.